Good morning, everyone, or at least it's morning here. Welcome back to Modern Homesteading with Tessa. I'm Tessa, and this is the channel where I show you how to feed yourself, or at least how I feed myself. You can do whatever you want. Today, my projects, I need to get the brooder ready for the next batch of chicks. They are hatching today. I need to have that all ready, so I'll show you how I get my brooder ready, what materials I use. Fabio, and I'm gonna kind of give you guys a quick tour around the farm and show you where everything is at. We haven't been able to plant yet because it's been super wet still. It rained more yesterday. It is early May, so I'm ready to start planting. But first, we need to get chores done. These guys are hungry, everything's hungry, so let's get to choring. First things first, I'm sure Kevin wants out. Kevin, you wanna go outside? All right, let's go. Whoa. Come on. Let's go. You go right there. You can clean up those weeds, sure. All right, and Crunchy's hungry.
Crunchy, good morning. Come here. Good morning. Oh, you've been wallowing.
No, don't eat my tripod. This is the breeding pen. Those are not their eggs, those are fake eggs. That is a blue copper bronze rooster, a black copper bronze hen, and then 2 lavender Orpington hens. He's a nice rooster. So I have them separated so I know which eggs I'm hatching. Put on food and water. I love the automatic waterers. Mama and her babies. Also have to pay the worm tax. And these are the bigger babies. They're about a month, almost 6 weeks old. I don't really know what worms are yet. And those white birds are Splash, so those are out of the blue copper bronze rooster and the lavender Orpingtons. The black ones are black copper bronze, and then the blue ones are blue copper bronze. And then there's, I think, a couple, there's a barred rock or two, and then there's that red one is a barred rock buff Orpington cross. Oh, someone got a worm. Oh, Rafiki. Rafiki's the red one. Alright, on to the next one also. They're good on food and water too. This is where the meat chicks are gonna go. This is the pen we need to get ready today. But first, the meat birds are still hungry. All right, so the meat birds are in the middle of a turn. They're gonna turn and go back down that way. They started here and went down the fence line as far as my hose goes, came back, and then I just started turning them yesterday. Always unhook the electric first. These guys will be 7 weeks old on Monday, and they're getting processed on Monday. They grow so fast. All right, on to the next one.
What are you guys doing in here? You're not supposed to be in here. Fabio. I know you instigated this. Shoo shoo, out of the barn. You don't need to be in here. One.
All right, now let's check on the eggs that are incubating. My temps look good. I'm at 99.6, but my humidity's a little low, so I'm gonna add some water. And these are all these are all going into lockdown tomorrow, so I want to start cranking the humidity anyway. And then this incubator's about a week behind. The other ones. And I rotate all my hatching eggs every day. There's some in that one. So I just have the end of them up on a 2x4 and just have the other end up on there. Look at those beautiful black copper Marans eggs. Oh my gosh, can't wait to hatch them. All right, so let's get this chick pen ready for the next batch of chicks coming. So when I cleaned it, I coated the bottom with a thin layer of this PDZ refresher stuff. It just helps cut down on any ammonia, neutralizes all that, and makes everything smell good. For the bottom layer, I'm gonna put a layer of bedding pellets, and I find that these are great to have on the bottom because they're super, super absorbent, and the meat chicks poop a lot. Anyway, so this is what I do for the bottom layer. And I follow up with some shavings. I just use the classic. I've never had issues with chicks eating this and getting compacted. To do it. There. And then as the chicks grow, as they get this saturated or whatever, I just keep adding shavings on top as needed until they go out. And they go out at 3 weeks, so they're not in here for very long. Then we'll get our brooders in here. I'm figuring one brooder will warm 25 chicks. And those warming up. So I'm not going to rely just on the automatic water at first. I'm gonna put a couple of smaller waters in here, and I always give them sugar water when they first get here. It just gives them a good boost after shipping. So the last batch of chicks, if you watched my video on those came from Minnesota. This batch and all subsequent batches for the year are coming from a hatchery in California, so they don't have to go nearly as far. All right, so the brooder is all set up and ready to go for chicks tomorrow. When I get the phone call from the post office, I'll be able to go pick them up and get them in here, get them situated and settled before I have to go to work. All right, so next up, I will show you guys what the garden's looking like and my starts and stuff. All right, so here's the tractor. We did a bunch of work on the greenhouse last weekend. We added in these braces. We added some 2x4 across the top just for more stabilization. The wind is really, really hard on this thing. There's the tiller on the tractor, and we got the greenhouse tilled. It finally dried out enough to be able to get some tilling done. And then here is the garden. So we got the first till done on that. Heading into the greenhouse, or the prop house rather. All right, so these are the tomatoes. I did some videos on potting these up, and some of them I've potted up since then, and they're doing really good. They're ready to get out. Here are some pickling cucumbers. Look how beautiful those are. And cilantro. All right, and here are some of my starts that are hardened off and ready to go. So starting over here, we have, these are all onions, and they're all in soil blocks. So I started these from seed back in February. Some beautiful lettuce, cabbage. There's a red cabbage and a green cabbage. Some celery. There's green onions and shallots. And these poor leeks. There was a no pun intended leak in the prop house, and so it got dripped on and flooded and halfway destroyed, but I decided to give them a chance. Then there's status and some peas going. So as soon as it dries out a little bit more, we'll get a final till on this garden, and then stuff can start going in the ground. All right, let's go check on the garlic. All right, so this is the garlic patch. There's about 850 garlic plants here. I planted them last October, and I will be harvesting them like early July. Depends on how soon they mature, but I always wait until at least the summer solstice, which is June 21st, so that everything bulbs up nicely, because garlic bulbs up in response to length of day. So I have these 3 beds are soft nut garlic, and I prefer soft nut garlic because it lasts longer and I can braid it. And that's the end goal for these, is they will be turned into garlic braids and braided with like herbs and flowers and things, and I'll sell them at the farmer's market. And then this row right here, about 3/5 of it is hard nut garlic, and then the last bit of it is elephant garlic. For the soil for this, it literally was just pasture, and I brought in a couple of loads of horse manure that was mostly composted, and dumped that about 9 inches deep, and then planted my garlic straight into that, and it's been working fantastic. I'm really, really happy with how this has worked, and so I'm actually going to keep extending this. We're going to do one more block for this year. So I'll show you what we're going to do there. But there's some risks with horse manure with persistent broadleaf herbicides being present in it. They can be anyway, and I knew garlic wasn't going to be affected by that, so that was fine for the garlic. From what I've read, I think the most it can take is 18 months to completely be degraded in your soil for most of the persistent broadleaf herbicides. So I'm not opposed to doing it. I just need to time it to where I can plant something that is not a broadleaf, you know, at first. So the garlic, and then next I'm going to do the corn the same exact way, because that's not a broadleaf. So that won't be affected by any potential herbicides. And yes, I can test it, and I will be talking about how to do that as well in future videos. So over here next to the garlic, you can see this patch that we mowed, and so I'm going to do the same thing here and dump horse manure, and then this is going to be where the corn goes. Corn, it has the juice. My next task of the day is to get all of this weed-eated down. All right, so then this is my indoor seed starting setup. So just these shelves, and I just have LED shop lights. They're not special grow lights at all, but as you can see, they are plenty of light for growing starts. So this basil smells fantastic. So you don't need special fancy grow lights to start seeds. So I have my basil here, my peppers. These are some marigolds. Those can probably go outside soon. More tomatoes, more lettuce. So that will be, I try to succession sow my lettuce so I'm not like drowning in lettuce all at once. I have it, so I sow it like once a month. Then up there is more tomatoes. Those are mostly double liters that I pruned. There's a little bit of basil there, some cucumbers. Down there is the next set of lettuce that I started like a month later. And then underneath is straw flowers and yarrow. So everything in here will be going out once the greenhouse is up and ready to go. Most of it's going in the greenhouse anyway, the tomatoes, the basil, and the peppers. And then other stuff I just have in here to get a jump start on it before I put it outside to start hardening off. All right, you guys, that's it for today. Like this video if you like this video, and subscribe if you want to see more homestead stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.